And when he said, "Is it okay if I post this?" I'm not kidding you. I immediately pictured him printing out a picture of us and posting, hammer and nail. Yeah, I didn't know what he was talking about. And then a few days later, he said, "Well, this is interesting. There was like 400,000 views." I said, "Of what?"
So no, she didn't expect it to become a TV show.
No, he sums it up.
Don't laugh that hard at first episodes of anything, even stuff I've loved. Is this something that came out the way you expected right from the get-go, or you actually had to work on to get that fine-tuning?
Wow, good question. I think that it's a little bit of both. I think that, we know their dynamic so well. That's what the whole origin story of the show was loving how funny they are naturally. For us, it became about capturing that in the writing and the story that we wanted to tell and put them through. But then I think seeing what they did with our words played back to us, both on set and in the edit, was when we were like, oh, there was moments in there that were just totally different than we expected them to play, but in a really great way.
And one of the big challenges was finding the balance of the script and time to improvise and play in kind of their natural dynamic. And when you're just running to make the days with limited time, that was tricky and felt more and more dialed in like throughout the process of making the pilot. And by the time we got to the end, we were just like ready to get into the next episode because we'd kind of found that balance that was...
I remember also that we sort of had like an agreement that we'll try to do it as scripted first, and then don't leave any angle before you just get a free shot to do whatever you guys would like. Add words, make it up, do it scripted, mix it up, whatever you wanted, and we often did that.
How often do you think that you used end up that was improv compared to what was scripted?
It's a good mix. I mean, a lot of it too is there's, because like Mandy's saying, that was often our last take. They had the script in their bones, so the script is still underneath, but they're dancing on top of it with the way that they would like to say something or add a line here. And then there are whole sections in there that are quite off the rails of the script in a really great way. In particular, I think when it gets less comedic.
Did you all imagine from both sides of it that when you started doing it on social media to present your parents, that it was going to turn into something like this and then have people kind of inside your family that you didn't expect?
No. It was literally a COVID, survival moment. And I don't really understand social media. I didn't understand it. And it's that thing when, the only social media we had before this all happened was with the International Rescue Committee, and there were a few thousand views, and Gid thought if we did something a little personal, it would bring more attention to the plight of immigrants, which we work with. And I thought, oh, great for that. And when he said, "Is it okay if I post this?" I'm not kidding you. I immediately pictured him printing out a picture of us and posting, hammer and nail. Yeah, I didn't know what he was talking about. And then a few days later, he said, "Well, this is interesting. There was like 400,000 views." I said, "Of what?"
So no, she didn't expect it to become a TV show.
No, he sums it up for me.
No.
But even so, in doing that during a COVID time, when it came time to now delve into the idea of doing season, was it something like, well, we can turn it into this, or somebody actually came hunting for the idea?
No, we were getting approached a lot for reality television shows, like following the grody-patinkins, and we had no interest in that. And Mandy was getting approached for, do you have any projects you want to develop?
You mean Dad? I can't stand it when you call me Mandy.
Mr. Patinkin.
Daddy.
Can you put Dad underneath?
My daddy was getting approached,
Daddy,
asking if he had any projects he wanted to develop, which he wasn't quite used to because he's used to being an actor, hired gun. And he was just saying, Ewan is really the guy I want to work with, both having seen his work in the past and having worked on a bunch of social media videos for political stuff together. So Ewan wrote down 10 ideas, and this was a our favorite one and the one that stuck and the one that I was willing to jump on board with, and we were off.
Should I call you Dad too? I'm just making sure. I want to be clear about that.
Yes, you should.
All right, Dad and Mom. But for you also, because again, you are playing yourselves, but this is not like the social media in the sense that you're technically characters also in certain ways. Are there parts of you that find it hard to disassociate those two sides of yourselves?
I don't know how to separate them. I live in my imagination. If someone suggests an idea of how to do something, whether it be Ewan or Gideon or Kathryn or the man on the moon, I feel obligated to try to do that for them. And then my mind usually gets spinning in terms of where else could this go. And in the moments or seconds that are surrounding it, I just do it. And I have an attitude that when we do another take and we keep rolling, you've already got whatever I just did. I don't need to do it again. And I'm not of the philosophy that, just make it exactly right so the editor can do it and there's continuity and it'll all cut. Warren Beatty said to me years ago, everything cuts. And so I've really seen the style of cutting that these guys use, that other people use. You can put anything together. So my attitude is give them every possibility I can before we leave that angle. The clock is ticking, the sand's running through the hourglass, and we got to move on.
Wait, Ma, I wanted to hear just your answer of how you feel the difference between real Kathryn and scripted Kathryn and how you understood.
Honest to God, Matthew, that's me. I mean, it's not, wouldn't you say? I mean, for the most part, it's me. There might be circumstances that were different, but I would say I'm pretty much playing myself.
You are playing yourself, but I think that the alchemy we're going for is that both Mandy and Kathryn are such extraordinary actors. So by giving them material that hopefully lives and breathes like they do as themselves, but knowing that we're in a fictionalized setting and knowing that they're actors who want to make choices and that we are writing things that they would never actually do or say, but giving it to them to say as themselves. We just start pancaking reality and fiction on top of each other, and then we play with that in the edit, and then this is the outcome.
No, that's absolutely true. And the 5 episodes these two have written, that's really my friggin' bucket list. The concepts are so original, and they're things that are way less familiar than what you saw in the pilot. And I would love to act in those circumstances because I wouldn't get that opportunity to go to certain places.
But even though those places are a little past the norm for us,
yes.
Our friend Gary Levine, we were told by Gideon and Ewan that when they were in the writer's room creating these additional 5 episodes, that Gary would often read them and go, I just can't. I don't think I can see Mandy doing this. Mandy wouldn't do this. And then they would look at him.
Or no one would actually do that.
And inevitably, those were the things that were based on a real moment from their life.
Yeah.
Every time. It was amazing.
We had done them all.
Yeah.